is coming to speak about his book called No Place to Go. So Howard, thank you so much for coming this morning, and we look forward to hearing about the book.
Thank you, Leslie, and good morning, everybody. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming. I've got a story which is not my story. It's a story I've come across, and I guarantee when you leave here today, you're going to be amazed. First of all, I'm going to ask by a show of hands. Who's heard of the Jewish Brigade? Anybody? Can you put up your hand? Yeah. 4 people. I hadn't heard about the Jewish Brigade, and I came across this term, did some research, and found out an amazing story, which was the subject of my book, called No Place to Go, which we got here, which I'm going to leave behind for you to read. Also the Kidman Library, and I'm hoping to have it made into a movie called Exodus 2. Now, let me tell you a story about the Jewish Brigade for those who don't know. Most of us, including myself, thought that Hashem had abandoned the Jewish people during the Second World War. He did not. That's why this is such an important speech. Hashem looked after us. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. Not my story, it's all facts. Right. What happened was, is this reverberating? Can we fix the microphone first?
Guys, it's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay.
If you point the microphone today, then
Okay.
Yeah, that's...
don't point it, you're pointing it like that.
Why don't I put it on the stand?
Sorry, everybody. Okay, there you go. So what happened was in the early 40s, the British Army trained roughly 5,800 Jewish men from Palestine who called the Jewish Brigade, and they weren't allowed to go into battle for political reasons, the Arab oil. So these men were doing guard duty, and they were terribly frustrated. Word had come out of Europe what had happened in the concentration camps, and these guys were itching to go into battle. Then, in 1944 September, listen to this, Hashem put the thought into Winston Churchill's head. They had a vote in the House of Commons and allowed the Jewish Brigade to go into battle under the Star of David before Israel was even a country. Amazing story. So what happened was, next the men went to northern Italy, where they were about to fight the Germans. Let me go back a bit. Prior to that, the German armies were incredible armies that had gone right through Europe, very successful. Now, what you don't know, what I didn't know, was in our very first battle against the Germans, we actually won. We took them prisoner. Most of us think we are soft leadership warriors. Where from? We were absolutely unbelievable. That's the first thing that happened. Second thing that happened was the SS officers of the German army were running all over the globe trying to flee. We formed death squads. Now, in my book, I don't glorify killing. This is too loud, I'll stand away. I don't glorify killing because that's not our Jewish way. So we formed these death squads, we sought out these SS officers, and we annihilated them. Point number 3, which is the most amazing thing of the lot. We got into Europe and we came across these concentration camps with women and children, ailing people. And if you're reading the book, I'm not going to go into all the finer detail now, you'll read how logistically we got out these people, thousands of people, out of Europe into Palestine. If it wasn't for this, Israel wouldn't be where it is today. Unbelievable story. There were trucks, all sorts of things, trains, ships, they got them out of it. Now this is Hashem at work. This is not Howard Joffe's story, I promise you. I'm just the courier. Next thing that happened was 1948. You all know the story. 6 Arab armies attacked us. We declared independence. 55 of these well-trained men from the Jewish Brigade were the spine of the Jewish army. Now, if it wasn't for these men, there's a museum in Israel, by the way, which I can give you now. I'll give you the name. 1 sec. If I can find it. Just 1 second. Okay, I'm not going to find the name. There's a museum in Israel dedicated to the Jewish Brigade.
I'll look for it while you...
So at the back.
Okay.
It'll be in the book, and you're welcome to borrow these books, which I'm going to leave behind. So that's the story. I've written a book called No Place to Go. We're hoping to have it made into a movie called Exodus 2. You all know that we all go to Egypt, Exodus 1. We were slaves in Egypt. You all know the story, how we got into Israel, Palestine. This is Exodus 2. It's an amazing story. And I never knew about it. The fact that I didn't know about it upset me terribly because it's such an incredible story. I came across the term Jewish Brigade. I went down to the Kitchen Library, took out 3 books, and did my research, and noticed that the books hadn't been loaned for about 6 years. Just 1 second.
Museum of Jewish People.
Okay. I'll just comment on page chapter 33. For your readers wishing to learn more about the Christian, it's recommended you research into the site of Beth Hatufosot, Museum of the Jewish People. I've got their phone number here. If you ever go to Israel, you've got to go to this place. Thanks, Jeannie. So I did my research and found out this book hadn't been read for 6 years or so. Opportunity. So I've done my homework. I've written a book. Thanks to Hashem, I finished the book. I don't take credit for this book whatsoever. I like to write. Hashem gave me the story. Hashem gave Winston Churchill the idea of letting the men fight under the Star of David. It's an incredible story. Any questions, by the way, about the story? So what's coming out of this talk is that Hashem did not abandon the Jewish people during the Second War, as we all believed. So we forgot about this war. Nobody, not one man or one woman on this planet can explain to you why the Holocaust happened. We don't know. It's beyond our capacity to understand. But what we now do know is that Hashem did help us, which is amazing.
So what happened to the Jewish Brigade once the Israeli army was available?
I have no idea. Good question. They probably just merged with the IDF. I'm just guessing.
So what you're actually saying is that before we even had a state, we had Jews who got together.
Well-trained, yes.
Well-trained Jews that became an army of their own.
Yes. Now in my life, I was lucky. When I was saying Kaddish, my father, age 17, the guy who was my mentor was an Egyptian Jew. He actually was a trainer of the paratroopers in England. He was English. He'd been schooled in England, come from a very wealthy Egyptian family. He's actually the main character in my book. I've changed their names just because they're no longer alive. But there is this museum which I haven't been to. I plan to go there, please God, one day. Any other questions about this story, which is amazing?
Tell us, if you don't mind, tell us when you came across this book, what it meant to you. So from a personal point of view.
Okay.
Why did you take it on?
Jenny asked me a question, why did I take on the story? I like writing, I'm a very proud Jew, and the fact I didn't know about it upsets me terribly. It's something we should all know about. That's the reason why I think not only us, I think the world should know that we beat the Germans at war, unbelievable, and if it wasn't for these well-trained men, we might not have been the state of Israel today.
And also, there's a lot of rumors, people start rumors that the Holocaust didn't happen. You know, this is what...
Well, some people say the world's not round. I mean,
Exactly.
it doesn't matter what people say.
I think it's a very important book.
Yes, Colin.
General Eisenhower said, when he saw the camps, take as many photographs and movies as you can, because in time to come, some son of a bitch is going to say, it never happened.
See, that's it.
Now, one of the generals, might have been Eisenhower, it's in my book, they said that after the war's over, the Jews are going to go back to their country of origin. They couldn't do that. They'd seen their parents killed, you know the story, and they had no place to go. Ended up in Israel, Baruch Hashem. Any other questions? So we're not this weak-livered, Yiddish boys not scared to fight. We're unbelievably powerful human beings, thanks to Hashem. We're very strong people.
What else have you written? Have you written other things?
I have written other things. One wasn't published, and then the lady who did my books went walk. She got COVID, lent us some money, she went walkabout. I'm going to hand out some bookmarks. The second book, which hasn't been published, is actually finished, called With Resonant Trumpets. During COVID...
Don't say that slowly, because I don't think anybody...
I'll just repeat that slowly. During COVID, I wrote a book designed to help mourners post-COVID. So I have...
Mourners.
Mourners. People saying Kaddish. So I summarized the 3 daily services. At the back of that book, there were 100 commentaries from different rabbis from the Shia and I've been telling for the last 15, 20 years. That book hasn't been published because my lady helping me has got walkabouts. I'm going to hand these out. I was going to give these to. I was going to give these books to the rabbis to hand out to the mourners. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So these books are left behind. Leslie Ann will have it here. If you want to borrow it, at the kitchen to be over here. If anybody wants to buy them as gifts, I'm going to make a special, very, very low price. Limiting 4 per person. If you want to give out your gifts to friends. It's an amazing story. Once again, not my story. It's a story we should all know about. Okay, that's me for today. Thank you for attending.
It's the quickest you would have ever been. Short and sweet.
Thank you, Howard, for coming to give the talk today. I think you can come and ask questions afterwards if you didn't want to ask them now. Howard will be around, and there are copies of the book which will be in the library which you can read. And then Howard is also selling a few copies if you are interested. So Howard, thank you so much.
I'm not here to sell them, but if anybody wants to buy a few for gifts, very, very low price. The retail price is $264. Price for the people of this residence is 20 Rand each, but only limited to 4. It's only not a money-making exercise. I want you guys to know how wonderful Hashem's been to us. That's why I'm standing here. No other reason.
I'll have a copy.
No other reason.
Thank you so much, Howard.
Thank you. Nice meeting you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'll get it to them afterwards.